This is the last part of my mini lullaby writing series. If you're new to songwriting, I do suggest that you start with my first video and then work your way back to this one. And once again, I will link exercises and warm-ups in the description below, as it's important not to overwork your voice with the changes that pregnancy and birth will affect you. So in this video, I will be teaching you how to write to a track, and I've chosen to do this last because although melodically this is an easier method, you don't have to come up with the melody's there for you. It is harder in the sense that you have to fit your lyrics by the syllables used originally in the songs. So the example that I will be using is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. What you're going to do is you're going to find this song that you've already listened to, and you're going to rewrite the lyrics using the same melody. So of course, original Twinkle Twinkle Little Star goes like this. Twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are. Now, obviously, that's the original lyrics of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So I have created my own version, and I've done two verses, so you can see it work in two different ways. And I'll sing that to you now. This is using the exact same melody of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Melly, Melly, my gold child, how I love you, yes I do. In my arms you make me come forevermore, two by two. Melly, Melly, my gold child, how I love you, yes I do. Smiling sweetly, my baby, oh, I hope you love me back. Years away, you'll speak to me, together laughing brightly. Melly, Melly, my gold child, how I love you, yes I do. Now to delve into that little how I've got to where I've got, you start with I found a two-syllable, so my baby's name is Melody Quinn. Now obviously that's quite long, but I wanted to incorporate it into the song, and we often nickname her with Melly, hence Melly being used in the lyrics. And I've kind of put the meaning and the theme behind the song to all be around love and my love for my child, hence me moving on to talking about how I love her, and that is important to me, and that's hence the reasons I've got those particular lyrics. You can combine this back with the previous video where it's improvisation, because this is kind of how you're going to be finding it. It's just more tricky as you've got to fit it to the syllables. And then I continue on with In My Arms, You Make Me Calm, and this is all talking about bonding with the baby, and the whole forevermore, two by two being me and my baby together, connected, bonded. I then repeat the first two lines just how it does in the original. So I have chosen a particular easier song to rewrite the lyrics to the track, because they do repeat the phrase, and therefore in songs, if you were starting and this is like your first time trying to do this, potentially find a song where they repeat a couple phrases, and therefore you're not having to find more phrases, more lyrics. You can just repeat it like I have done so. I then move on to the second verse. Now I've done this in a way so that in a few years' time, when my child is able to sing back to me, instead of using the words, oh, I hope you love me back, she'll be able to be like, oh, I know I love you back, and therefore we're singing back and forth, doing a kind of calling response. And then on the year afterwards, it's got years away, you speak to me, she'll be able to go, years have come where we speak. And that's enabling so me to be able to speak to her and voice to her my emotions, what I want from her, the love I want from her, blah, 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 blah. And then in a few years' time, she'll be able to reciprocate these feelings, and she'll be able to tell me that she loves me back, and it's a kind of call and response form of lyrical writing. And then once again, repeating that couple phrases that you'll hear constantly throughout Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And that's how I've come up with those 2 verses. Now, obviously, I don't know how much you guys have listened to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but before I properly looked into the song, I only knew the first verse of the song, and they actually had multiple verses, and this is probably the same case in a lot of lullabies, having verses that aren't as popular as that one particular or 2 particular verses. So what you can do with this form of writing is not necessarily completely write the whole thing by yourself. You're still going to want your kid to know that famous song with the right lyrics. So what you can do is just add in an extra paragraph so that you can still have that connection with your baby, but you're not having to write a new melodic tune, and therefore you're still able to create that connection of writing a lullaby for you and your kid. And so, for example, I could use the original verse and then move on to the verse I've got, or I could even use that little phrase of "Melly, Melly, my godchild, how I love you, yes I do," instead of the "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star." But I'd be more likely to incorporate the "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, how I wonder what you are," as that is the most common phrase of the song, of the tune, and therefore is going to be most commonly heard. And then when she starts to reach school ages and interacts with her children, it'll be nice for her to know the lyrics so she can sing along with her classmates and stuff. Now, it is important when you do this method that you aren't thinking of using it publicly. If you are going to have to search into copyright, and that gets down a very long, complicated route. This method is purely for the connection between you and your child, so that you can have your own lyrics, your own words, your own way of communicating with your child without necessarily having to go through the complications of coming up with a new melody. So thank you for watching, and I hope that this is very helpful for you. Feel free to share the versions that you've created. Obviously credit the original song so that everyone knows where you're coming from and no one can say that you're doing copyright. Just make sure that it's there, and please give me feedback. Thank you.